Muscatine, and welcome to the Muscatine Today Show with two chicks and a Chris. We have a great show for you today. We have special guest Sheriff Quinn Reiss from the Muscatine Sheriff Department. We have Chris Anderson coming up to tell you about his authentic find in wherever. Maybe we'll get it. It's like mushroom hunting. Maybe he'll tell us his special spot. And then we got our little session about who can we make mad today. But
hey, but Brian,
yes,
I didn't find anything. What are you talking about?
Well, we will.
Or wait, was it the other Chris Anderson? Is it the other Chris that's going to be the Chris today?
I'm not sure. We'll have to see what Chris shows up today. Are you digging dirt?
Yeah, it's not going to
normally.
It must not be you then. Anyway, we ended last week with the Chick family Thanksgiving football. Just want to say I had 4 players. He had 8. So you can imagine what the score was at the end.
Hey, there's only
Is that where the trophy came from?
there's only one thing that matters.
Yeah,
the trophy's mine.
Wait, how does that even get close to even teams? Like, did you not?
He can't believe a word he says.
I can pull up the footage at Washington. That camera.
He was beating me. We was going to 8. He was beating me 4-0. Lost 8-6. The coaching ability and learning how to adjust. He just don't have it figured out.
Well, I mean, when you have 4 players and you're trying to cover 8, there's always somebody open for the pass. But
You have to remember the other 4 he's talking about were like 3-year-olds. It was like they
And then
like our grandkids that they just got out of a stroller.
then he said they don't count.
He's worried about having to cover them.
Well, they don't count unless they make a touchdown. So that's the way that. But anyway, we got Sheriff Quinn Reiss here from the Muscatine Sheriff Department. Thank you so much for giving us your time. How long have you been at the Sheriff Department?
Be 26 years in January.
26 years in January. What, you become the sheriff, you on your 2nd term now?
I'll start my 2nd term in January.
Yeah, and we got the best sheriff in the county. I'm going to say that. We love Sheriff Quinn Reiss. We love law enforcement.
I need to run out and grab my wallet.
Yeah, and we didn't even ask for no money here.
I would like to echo that.
For all the agencies listening in, that was a joke.
When Quinn was running the first time, I didn't know Quinn, and him and I didn't get out on the best footing. But as I've got to know him and work with him, I think he is fantastic. I think he's one of the best sheriffs Muscatine's ever had. The relationship I got with him, I really appreciate it. I'm glad we're friends, and Muscatine County is lucky to have him.
Probably after that football game, you should have arrested his ass after that. I know how he cheats, so.
Get a hold of me next time. That can be arranged.
I will. We're going to have Sheriff there.
He might not show up to the game.
All squad cars there. But what is your day like normally for a day of a sheriff? What's a day of a sheriff like, Quinn?
Day to day, I couldn't tell you.
Day to day, whatever crimes out there.
It's whatever comes down the pipe for that day. I get up usually 4:15, 4:30. I go to the gym first. I go to the patrol office after that. Head downtown. It's a lot of administrative stuff. Between the inmate issues, staffing issues, structural issues between the 2 buildings. We have the jail, obviously, patrol office out on Park Avenue West. Trying to keep everything in as good as order as it can be, and then dealing with any number of issues that are coming in, calls for service, whatnot. I try to get out to, if we have major calls, accidents, wrecks, things like that, I go out to. So it keeps you on your toes.
Sure. Muscatine County is a really large per square mile area. You only have so many deputies on duty, so you guys do a fantastic job covering the county as well with the little bit you have. So
Muscatine County is about 450 square miles. We've got 24 sworn officers. Muscatine obviously has their own department. Wilton has their department. West Liberty has theirs. Some of the smaller towns have part-time police departments. Typically, those are staffed by off-duty deputies, off-duty Muscatine PD officers, things like that. But there's a lot of rural county out there. And we deal with same issues that any other department deals with. Here this year is kind of an odd year with just the sheer amount of crashes that we've had. So those take a lot of time, a lot of effort, take a significant toll on staff in dealing with those situations. So it's a daily deal.
Yep. And you also are in charge of the Muscatine County Jail. How many inmates can that hold? And I guess the biggest thing is, how long can inmates stay there?
So typically, a state or local inmate, somebody that's arrested on charges within the state of Iowa, we can hold them up to a year, and we've held people up to a year. We also hold for the U.S. Marshal Service. We're also housing right now for Scott County. With the feds and Scott County, we get a per diem rate. We charge them per inmate per day. So that brings a significant amount of revenue into the county, takes a significant amount of burden off of the local taxpayers. The jail as it sits now, we can house 255 inmates long term. We can house another 33 short term back in booking. We did the booking expansion probably 4 years ago now, where we went from being able to hold 8 to 10 up to 33. That 8 to 10 was original to that portion of the jail, the 1996 portion. When the new pod was added, that upped housing by 130, I think 136. Nothing was done with the booking area at that time. So it's a great benefit for us. Today, I think we're sitting at, 202, 203 total inmates. We'll see what happens in the coming year with the Fed numbers. My guess is we're going to see those Fed numbers start going back up.
Sure. And I bet, you remember when Mobile Patrol shut down? Everybody in Muscatine was lost for a while. So
I got a significant amount of grief.
Yes.
When we decided to quit partnering with them.
Yep.
We had a little issue with Mobile Patrol where they were putting Fed inmate information on there. That's a no-no.
Yep.
So ultimately, we had to part ways. Probably in the last year, we started looking at doing our own app, and that's where the Sheriff's app came in.
There's a lot of information on that.
There is.
Not just inmates, it tells you a lot of other.
And it gives everybody something to do first thing on Saturday morning or first thing on Sunday morning. They get on there and see who got arrested overnight. And
if there wasn't none of our family members and who we got to put commissary down for. But we've talked the last few weeks on the people that experience homelessness in Muscatine. We did our little take on it, and then Pastor Sharon come last week and said that part. And then we wonder on the law enforcement side, do you deal with a lot what could you suggest on the law enforcement side to maybe help the problem or?
Unfortunately, we're reactive to that issue. Where we come in is, when a crime is committed.
Yep.
We do have a significant number of homeless that end up in jail, unfortunately. And there's, any number of circumstances that would lead somebody into that type of situation. Where we see it is from either a substance abuse issue or a mental health issue. We run into those two. Those two are very closely tied. And that's where we deal with them the most.
Sure.
You kind of see a resolving door in a lot of those that you find. I think about 3-4 weeks ago, you had mentioned to me that there was a gentleman that was about to get out, maybe in a week or two, that you kind of took a liking to a little bit, but you knew that once he got out, he was probably going to be back within a few days or a week or so.
We have a number of them that they might be out for a day or a week, and we see them right back again. again, with the substance abuse and mental health issues that we see across that group is significant. And yeah, we see them right back again. They might be there for a couple days. They might be there for a month or two. While they're there, they get clean. They're off whatever substance that they're on for a while. So they do clean out a little bit. We've got them 3 hots and a cot. So we do what we can. There is a gap for those with those issues with substance abuse and mental health. There is that gap in service from when they get out to the time that they go and see a provider, if they can even get into a provider. We're working on some things with Robert Young Center up in the Quad Cities right now to try to bridge that gap, where as soon as somebody steps out of the facility, we can get them hooked up with a provider, keep them, if they're on a medication, keep that medication in hand, and try to keep them on the straight and narrow, just so we're not seeing them back in 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. My wife she's a mental health nurse practitioner, and her wait list is up to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So it is much needed, and it's hard to get in one to establish new care. So,
And the state just redid the mental health regions here within the last month or two.
That's cost us a lot of money.
It's going to cost us. Our region got substantially bigger to include some counties with large cities. I think we picked up Johnson County. I think we picked up Lynn County. So there's going to be some significant challenges ahead, I'm sure.
does that make the problem worse with all this, or does it?
In the long run, I think the premise was to tie mental health services and substance abuse services together. They should be, because they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little while to get that ironed out and see how it works. I remember, way back when, I can say that now, where we were in a small region. We didn't get a lot of services down here. Scott County, Clinton County, were they were flush with services where we were not. I can see a reset back to that for a little while, but I think that model is in place where hopefully that gap isn't significant.
What's your opinion, or do you have a good gauge on the homeless people that you do deal with in and out of the jail? Are you seeing a lot more outside of Muscatine County than you did in the past?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So do you feel, and this is one thing I wonder about too, is I know the MCSA has some they will not allow in there for obnoxious behavior and all that, and now it's getting colder out. Does that mean people break the law just to have somewhere to go for a while, and meals and et cetera?
That's not unheard of.
Yeah, and
Way back when I started, many years ago, I can say that now. We had a gentleman that he would spend the winter in jail. He would get out. He wouldn't be out for more than a day, and he would do something to come back in. Obviously, I can't do that every day with everybody because I don't have the space. But with those issues, it's taxing on our resources. It's taxing on just community resources where, now we're housing, and that's not cheap.
no.
So it's,
And one thing about housing is now the ones that have so many mental issues or concerns, now that all those medical bills come,
That's on us.
They go on to the county.
yep, that's on the taxpayer. We were, up until about a month or two ago, any mental health medications that were prescribed to state and local inmates, we were reimbursed by the mental health region. We were being reimbursed with taxpayer money, but that money was coming back in. With the adjustments to the regions, that reimbursement went away. So that was a significant hit. Last year, revenue-wise, I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. It was $60,000, $70,000 that isn't coming in now.
Right,
So-
and then probably when you start drafting your budget for next fiscal year, that'll probably have to be taken into account a little bit, right?
Yep. I submitted my budget on Monday. I think we start budget hearings mid-January. I think mine's the 16th, if I remember right. I'll apologize ahead of time.
So Pastor Sharon thinks we need another facility in town to help those kind of more aggressive people. We have to do something a little different because we can't have you be the end housing just to break a law to be there.
So I'll say I've probably got more mental health cases in the facility than any of your treatment places around town here. I guarantee it.
So we need more treatment centers.
Well,
Or
and it's
another beds and all that.
one of the issues that we ran into for years with the mental health end of things. There's just not enough beds. There's not enough beds. There's not enough staff to treat them. Historically, we would run 2 to 3 times a week, probably, over to Western Iowa. And that was the only beds that we could find.
Oh my gosh.
So we would send a car, haul them over there, bring them back 3 days later. If the judge decided that they needed to be held inpatient for longer, we drive them back over, go back over whenever, pick them back up, bring them back. We did that for years.
And that really cuts into your resources, and it ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap. The state of Illinois and state of Iowa worked out a deal a few years ago where we were able to start taking those mental health cases over to Robert Young. It's attached to Trinity Rock Island. We've since kind of expanded on that a little bit. We deal with the same people repeatedly. If we know, we've got a committal order coming on this guy or this gal, and we know that the hospital here in town is not going to be able to handle them, we can bypass and go to Trinity Rock Island, which has the facilities for it. They're attached to Robert Young, so they've got the staffing for it. We can get that person to the resources that they need quicker and safer by doing that. And that's not I don't say that as a slam to the hospital here in town. That's not my intention. They don't have the facility for it,
Yeah.
and they don't have the mental health professional side of things to specifically deal with those cases.
Right.
So
overall, do you believe we are getting worse with the places to take them? Are we on the right track down the road to be more apt to handle the mental health issue, or where are we lacking?
So with the reorganization of the mental health regions, we went from, I think, 5 county to, I want to say we'll be part of a 14 county region now. Don't quote me on that. I think you'll see services get better, especially with the tie with substance abuse, because you can't treat one without the other. I mean, again, they're so intertwined. And then I've had this exact conversation with a number of people as they were sitting in a jail cell, and I hear, I'm never doing this again. You have to change your environment.
Yeah.
If somebody comes out of facility, and whether it be a state prison or a mental health facility or a drug treatment facility, you go back to the same environment to which you came.
Right back where you
I'll see you
started.
soon. And that's unfortunate because, I mean, it's tough to change environments. I mean, it's not as easy as packing up your car and driving, to the neighboring state or anything anymore. So it's tough.
Sure. Since Illinois has recreation marijuana legal now, is that more of a problem? And since we're like right there on the river with them, do you?
I don't think we see more or less issues. We still see a significant amount of harder drugs out on the street. We haven't been inundated with the opioids that you see, Quad Cities, Iowa City, Burlington. Frankly, I'm surprised by that. Just where we are logistically between. But we still see, meth and coke fairly regularly.
Terrible, terrible drug. We got a couple of questions we ask every guest.
Make them easy.
You like roundabouts? How are you doing?
Not a fan.
Do you race through or do you wait?
I can't get out of them. Eventually, I just run out of gas and I hit the four-way. I just can't.
That explains so much.
That's why I was late today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Had to get a tow truck, and they do make for a smoother transition to traffic. I get that.
Unless you're stuck in it.
Unless you're stuck in it, no. But I don't know. Not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan. What about the speed cameras? You miss them?
I hate
or-
them.
You hate them?
Hate 'em.
Hate them. I love that.
You should have the ability to go and face your accuser. So
Yes.
if you get a speed ticket, you should be able to go to court and either, try to sell your story to the judge and have him make up his mind, watch the video, look at the radar, do whatever. The automated enforcement, to my knowledge, there's only one county in Iowa that does it. I think his got shut off when the rest of them got shut off. I asked him about it, and he sold me on it, on his.
Yeah.
It was down in Lee County. They had a stretch of road that they were having fatalities regularly. They could park a squad car out there. People are still blowing by him at 20 over. He didn't have the manpower, the resources to be able to go out and slow those people down because they're still dealing with calls for service and whatnot. They put the cameras in. His intention with the revenue that was generated, he was going to pay or reimburse parents for every kid that went through driver's ed.
That's it.
I can get on board with that.
Yes.
If there was money left over, his intention was to give them to a small town. Here's this money, fix your streets. The next year, go to this small town. Here's this money, fix your streets. I can get on board with that.
For a cause.
I can get on board with that.
I like that.
If it's going to fund a position that has nothing to do with public safety, I got a little bit of an issue with that. But yeah, not a fan. I don't want to keep beating that horse, but
I wanted to touch base a little bit.
I've paid a number of those tickets.
I have too.
A personal vehicle that's not operated by me.
I personally have a
sorry,
bigger
dear.
issue with the car just because it's mobile and there's no accident or speed data collected, but we're not going to. But anyway, I wanted to touch base on how bad we've seen it this year with accidents out around the county and the deaths and injuries we've had. I know there's concern with distracted drivers, but I wanted you to give a little bit of your perspective on what you're seeing this year.
So to date, we've had 9 fatalities out in the county. Over the last number of years, we average 3 to 4. I don't remember numbers this high since 61 was a 2-lane. Between here and Davenport, when it was still 2-lane, we had fatalities out there regularly. I mean, it was nothing to have 10, 11, 12 fatalities a year and multiple fatality accidents. So, 2 or 3 people got killed in that one. This year we're at 9, which is way too many. Speed related, distracted driving, drugs or alcohol, A couple of them were a combination of all three. They're happening at areas where you wouldn't think you would have a fatality wreck at. We've had 2 at 61 and Taylor, there by Ripley's. Had one 120th in Taylor, one at 110th in Taylor. Had one out Gravel Road southwest of West Liberty. One just on the edge of Nichols. Motorcycle got rear-ended. I think the car was doing 70, 80 miles an hour and rear-ended a motorcycle, killed the female passenger. I've said it 100 times, and I'll probably say it another 100 times. Slow down, and I'm going to try not to swear. Pay attention to what you're doing.
Yes.
It's aggravating. It puts a lot of additional stress on staff that's handling those types of cases. We bring in the State Patrol anytime we have a fatality. We have State Patrol come in and do a technical investigation. They'll do all the measurements. They GPS plot every part of that accident scene. Takes a significant amount of time. And then, dealing with family, right. Going and delivering a death notification to somebody that, hey, your loved one is dead because they wrecked their car. They're driving stupid. We don't say that, but I mean, it's a hell of a toll to go to somebody's house. And
every day I see, I'm not going to say every day, but at least once a week or every couple of weeks, as soon as somebody gets in an accident, before they even get out of the car in the ambulance, it's already on Facebook and to avoid the area and whatever. And it makes me, I'm scared every time I see it. I was going up the bypass last night. We had my boy in town. We're going to Applebee's for dinner, and I'm going through Mulberry on the bypass. I'm scared. I'm nervous. And as a supervisor over the last few years, it is something that I've tried to find the little things that we can maybe do different. And about a year and a half ago, and most of these are on gravel roads, on our uncontrolled intersections. I think we have like 47 or 46, something like that. And 14 of them are 4-way stops. The other ones are all 3-way. And I tried to get it passed through the Board of Supervisors to control those intersections. And I think I had a price. We could have done it for like $46,000. And I was disappointed it didn't get passed. It lost 3-2, and I just thought it made some common sense. I know it's not going to save everybody's life. I know it's not going to fix every accident, but I thought it was a good gesture to try to make it better in some of those dangerous areas. And now currently we're working. I shared the information with you the other day on maybe 3 or 4 of our 5 intersections to get the flashing stop signs. And I presented some data from the Governor's Safety Bureau, from the Iowa State University, and some other just online data that shows significant increase. So I'm hoping that we'll see. It seemed like some more supervisors besides me are maybe interested in doing something on that. So I'm hoping that we can maybe get some of those things across the threshold. I know it's not going to fix everybody with their head in their ass, but I'm hoping we can get something across. So
the illuminated or the solar stop signs, as I understand it, are about $1,200 a piece. If we equip, I can give you probably half a dozen intersections right now where we could put them. Are there other controls in place? Yes, there's rumble strips, there's stop signs. If it takes $1,200 to get somebody's attention to potentially save a life, it's worth it.
Can I ask a question on that? Okay, I'm kind of a DIY sort of a guy.
Okay.
I know that I could go out to Walmart, get a solar panel and some LED strip lights, put them around that stop sign for about $25. Let's do it.
There we go.
Come on, County. Is that not effective or what?
Hey, imagine selling them for $1,200 and you made it for
no, wait, hold on. I'm not thinking.
$7.50 a piece.
$7.50 a piece to the county right now. Going once, going twice. Danny, you win.
Well, now that you said $25, I might.
No, but I mean seriously.
No, so I don't know if you can get them for $25. I can
buy LED lights.
I've been told that you can get them for $1,200. You're probably right. There's probably something a lot cheaper. Many of these would be on state highways, right? Which the
but we have
Not
to
all
cover
of them, but we'd have to take over if there's any maintenance, but I can't imagine that'd be much. If they're only $25, we'll throw a new one up.
Well,
So-
this
so-
would be where Elon and Vivek is a government efficiency program, straighten you guys out.
So, the Highway 38 and F70, deadly intersection. We've had a number of fatalities there over the years. A couple of years ago, we had a triple fatality there. People coming across F70, people drive way too freaking fast. That would be in my opinion, a fantastic place for one. The stop signs on F70 are state signs. If if we wanted to illuminate them, that's on us.
All right.
Yeah, we might talk afterwards.
I'm in.
I might just go out to Menards today. We'll see.
Does that intersection you're talking about, is that 55 up to the stop sign?
Yep.
Or do you think it maybe breaking the speed down a mile before just to get them where they're not?
Some of the data that I got the other day, I asked about rumble strips too, and I think some of the intersections now are 1,000 feet back, which even a semi at 80,000 pounds, I'm told, should stop in 600, 650, something like that. And so we talked about maybe putting another set of rumble strips in, but some of these accidents just recently happened. They got 1,000 feet back, and they're still happening. So you think you think that would, if you're messing with your phone or
What about a mile back, slowing it down to 45 and the last mile of it and then a rumble strip just to.
And I don't know.
might be something.
I'm not going to get into what the engineers' rulings are. I don't want to say it because I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there a traffic study that has to take place to be able to do? I don't know. That's Brian's job. I know.
This Brian?
No, Brian.
County
It's
engineer.
Brian's job.
Show them how to do it.
The triple that we had out there a couple years ago. Mike Wade, deputy, saw that happen. He was going north on Highway 38. He saw a car coming across F70. He thought it was probably running 70, 80 miles an hour in the rumble strips.
Yeah, they had
And at that speed, I mean, do you even hear the rumble strip? Highway 6 and Moscow Road coming south out of Moscow. There's a significant number of rumble strips there. There's actually 2 stop signs there now. I think there's 2 different stop lines on the pavement, but we continue to have accidents.
Sure.
People just don't pay attention.
They go fast. Everybody leaves late, and then they're.
So our second fatality of the year was a younger kid out of Wilton on a motorcycle on Highway 38 just north of town here. Went to I knew his dad, went to his funeral. That happened probably Monday or Tuesday. Funeral was on Saturday. Went up to Tipton, went to the funeral, was coming back to town, coming down Highway 38. I was pacing the car doing 80 miles an hour.
Wow.
As we passed, one of the sheriff's office cars had a car stopped northbound, was out dealing with them. All the lights, I mean, we got more lights on our vehicles than you can shake a stick at. 80 miles an hour, past a marked car with the lights on. And I stopped him, and he and I had a very one-sided conversation, to which he understood, and then I followed him at 54 miles an hour the rest of the way down. So
Right. Do you think he set the cruise?
I did.
So I've got a couple quick questions before we wrap up. First one is, what's something you would like people to know that they may not from the sheriff's department? Something that maybe you talk about a lot of times with people, but just something kind of out of the blue. It doesn't have to be super important or anything, just something you want people to know.
Just the size and scope of the sheriff's office. The face of the sheriff's office is the uniformed marked car out roaming around the county. We've got 24 sworn officers. That's what we do. Staffing for the sheriff's office, we're about 100. People forget about the jail. The corrections officers have a job that I would not want. They come in. They come in every day. They do their damnedest to get the job done and go home at the end of the night. But we're a large office, which takes a large budget, which again, we'll talk about here in a couple of weeks. But people don't think about that. You talk about the jail, they think it's a separate entity. It's all under the umbrella of the sheriff's office. A majority of our staff is just down the street here. People don't realize the size of the jail. We're the sixth largest county jail in the state. So that takes a significant amount of resources to operate and function every day.
Okay, here's the second one.
Make it an easy one.
Oh,
that was a tough one.
You're going to love this one.
Oh, great.
Favorite Willie Leza story?
Favorite Willie Leza story. So Willie Leza has a number of phobias.
Exercise.
I didn't say that.
Hey,
sorry, Willie. I did
we're
not
both
say
the
that.
same age. We're old. We
Okay.
tried playing basketball.
So Willie is deathly afraid of clowns.
Really?
Yeah. He was traumatized as a child. I believe his sister made him watch a movie. I don't remember.
Probably it.
Could have been. So he is. He's has a strong phobia for that. So back in the day, Jeff Mullen had a clown mask that the lights that had LED lights in the eyes that would light up, and he put that in his window. And Willie would park his car out in front of the office, and Willie won't come through the front door. He always walks around to the back side of the building, comes through the back. He's a little bit of a germaphobe. So we would wait and we would time it because we could see when Willie pulled in, and we just time it to about the time he was walking past Cap Mullen's window. And we had that mask taped up in the window, and you'd turn those lights on and you would hear this little girl scream out in the parking lot. Yeah.
I'm going to have fun with that.
Yeah.
And I should say, I absolutely love Will. I've known him since high school, and he's great.
And I feel bad.
He'll enjoy that.
I feel bad, telling that story, to everybody. I don't at all. It sounded like the right thing to say. But yeah, there's a lot of Willie stories.
He'll get me back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for next time. Hey,
I
Quinn,
can have him come down. That's fine.
Quinn, thanks so much for giving us a little bit of time today. And we know you're
Absolutely.
a busy guy running all that. We have the best sheriff in the county right here. I'm going to stick with it all day. Thank
It was
you so much.
$20 to say it one time. It's not $20. It's just that's it.
Well,
Not every time you say it.
we'll be right
This isn't a
back
part-time
with
job.
Chris Anderson.
Up next on Discover Muscatine. Yeah.
Just kidding. We got one more thing from Sheriff Quinn Reiss.
Something that I wanted to cover real quick. Sorry. I didn't get the little phone thing like they got.
Just kidding. We got one more thing from Sheriff Quinn Reiss.
One thing that I wanted to cover real quick before I go is scams, phone scams. It's something that we deal with every year. Those scams change a little bit from year to year. The one that we're dealing with now, we've had a couple people out in the county that have gotten bit by it. Somebody will call the house and say they're from the sheriff's office. They might even give you a name of a current staff member at the sheriff's office. And they'll tell you they have a warrant out for your arrest. You missed court, something along those lines. You have to go get a prepaid credit card and give them the PIN number on it, or they'll have you go to like a Bitcoin machine and have you transfer funds. Step one, we're never going to call you and tell you that you have a warrant. We're going to come to your house. We're not going to call you ahead of time. We're never going to ask you to go get a prepaid debit card, green dot card, have you go to some cash app machine or cash app on your phone and transfer funds. Does not happen. Will not happen. I had a friend of mine reach out on Monday His wife got a call from the Scott County Sheriff's Office, and it was from the Scott County Sheriff's Office number that said she'd missed court. She had to pay, I think it was $2 or $3 grand. They would quash the warrant, and then she would be given a court date. She'd get all those funds back. Absolute 100% scam. We don't do that. The grandma scams that we dealt with in the past, we've dealt with the IRS scams. Well, I guess the IRS is kind of a scam, isn't it? Sorry, it's a topic for another time. Somebody calls you, they're from the IRS, you owe back taxes or a warrant for you, go get the green dot card, go get the prepaid credit card, whatever. That is not going to happen. Those are specifically targeted at older population. A friend of mine, not old by any means. He's not much older than I am.
That's old.
Wow, that hurts. But just be aware of that. If you get a call like that, either hang up on them or just string them along for a while. That's what I always used to do. I'd keep them on the phone as long as I could. It just saves them or keeps them from scamming somebody else. So, and I'd have good conversation with them.
The one thing about those scams, and I think you brought it up there, I mean, they're using they somehow use the police department number. They're using real deputy or real officers' names. They seem to have a lot of information about you. So, some people out there can see that it seems legit, but it's just not, folks.
Yep, 100%.
So in other words, if my wife cooks me a big supper, I'm sitting down and there's a warrant out for my arrest, I don't get to finish that supper, right? You just show up.
We're going to come to your house.
Yeah, they come and take you.
And we might sit there and have supper. I mean, depends on, is she a good cook?
Depends what she made,
Is she a decent cook?
She's fantastic.
Good answer.
She is great.
Take that $20 back. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Quinn. We'll be right back.
Up next on Discover Muscatine.
All right, welcome back to Two Chicks and now Two Chris's. We have Chris the artist.
Hello.
Chris, what the heck did you find the other day? We seen this story on Channel 4. You've been skipping and jumping up the street since you found that. Tell us a little bit about your story, Chris.
Yes, I have been digging up pearl for about 15 years, and I've been selling pearl art for quite a while. And about 2 weeks ago, I discovered this U.S. Army soldier belt buckle. And then the next 4 or 5 days, I spent digging and recovering close to 20 artifacts from him. And yeah, now I'm looking for his family to try to get him home.
Oh, so there's a pretty good story on Channel 4. We're going to have a better story on Two Chicks and Two Chris's, but you going to tell us your spot where you're digging, or is it like mushroom
sure, yeah,
hunting?
yeah, I'll let you know.
Like, you'll let us know later or today?
Whenever you want.
Well, we don't want to dig. We want you to do the work.
I know.
We
We're just going to watch you.
A couple cool things that I don't think people really understand that I am for sure that he is here is, like, I found his watch, for example, and like the quartz from the watch itself, it's all been burnt. Like, here's the rifle or his gun barrel, the tip to his gun barrel. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the history here. And so that brings me to why I am on the show today. Normally I'm behind the scenes, but as you see today, we have some pearl out here, and also I'm wearing some. I got some here. The first 5 people to comment, I would like to share Chris's story about pearl, will receive, the first one gets a necklace, like this actual one right here. The second one gets a bracelet. And 3rd, 4th, and 5th get spent shells in cases. So right now you can. What's that?
That leaves 2 left.
Well, and how about this is the 6th and 7th then.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody gets one. If you hurry up and comment right now, all I want to see is share Chris's story about pearl. That's it.
I just want to make sure you're digging spot. I mean, it's not Greenwood Cemetery.
No, sir. No. Not even close.
All right.
I'm
No.
just messing with you.
No, Chris has done lots of great murals all over town.
That's pretty cool. I hope you figure some more information
Yep.
out on whatever you found there.
We will eventually.
Can we give him a name? Let's just run a campaign to
I call him Jack.
send Jack home. Find the story, but they need to know the location. We're trying to get the location. So
Well,
maybe we can
we're
dig.
downtown Muscatine. I mean, that's pretty much what I can tell you is that we are
He's not sharing
in the
this.
heart of Muscatine.
He's not sharing where he's digging this. He's like a mushroom hunter.
Well, it's just that these artifacts are priceless, and
Right.
I wouldn't want just anybody going out here and trying. Because really, what I'm trying to do is keep him all together. And for now, until we get to where we need to be, I just keep it private and then
Right,
keep
right.
continuing to dig and see what else we find. So,
Sure.
and there is much more to be found. So stay tuned. I am certain to recover more artifacts here soon, and who knows what. So.
Congratulations, Chris. You keep digging. You keep digging. We're going to put an air tag on him. We will find the spot. We're going to dig faster than him. So, Chris, congratulations. Great murals all over town. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Pearl. Thanks for being on the show today, big guy.
No problem. And thanks for watching. And I hope you comment and get your pearl.
Remember,
Sounds great.
first one gets the best.
Right here. You get this necklace right here.
Holy cow, you guys still got another one on.
Oh, this one's mine.
This one's mine. He ain't getting that one.
So what we got to do to get that one?
You got to pay me.
All right. Good job, guys. Comment below.
Oh, the shells are $10 if you're interested for now. Limited time. So, yeah.
Well, they're not free if they
They're pretty
comment.
cool.
Oh, they're free if you comment today.
But if they want to buy
Yeah.
past
It's,
seven,
Yep.
it's
And-
$10 a piece.
Yes, and the price may
Yep.
go up soon, so you might want to get on top of that.
They're actually
Oh, also the bracelets are $20, $25. We'll go with 20 today if you were to want one.
20 today.
Yep.
Hey, online special today, $20 today.
Get your pearl
only.
while it's hot.
Wait, Black Friday sale.
Is it?
Black Friday sale on the pearls.
It's Black Friday on
I
Pearl
feel like
today.
the Home Shopping Club. Do you want to walk in front of it like
I suppose I will. I mean, no. I could model it if you'd like.
the Home Shopping Club does?
Yeah, I could
All
do
right.
it. I need a good hand model. If there's anybody out there that's willing to wear some pearl and, you know.
All right.
For $20, I might buy my wife one for Christmas because there you go. That'll save me some money, and everything I get her, she doesn't use or wear anyway. So it's,
Well, and this
And
is
I'll-
authentic pearl. You cannot get anything
Is
like
that
this.
nostalgia?
yeah,
Yeah. It speaks of history. You know, people want to know what is that? And then it starts the conversation and you get to tell them about Pearl City. It's awesome.
Yep, sounds good. We'll be right back with Two Chicks and a Chris. Controversial topic.
That's it.
Up next on Discover Muscatine.
Welcome back, Muscatine. Two Chicks and a Chris here. Real quick, we know it's been a rather lengthy show again, but let me see that over here just for.
Hey,
it's
be
going to be
careful.
the Christmas one, but hey, recently last weekend on social media was the raise of the parking meters throughout town. There's probably a couple hundred comments on that. I did end up watching the city council meeting. The council questioned it pretty hard that there wasn't adequate notice that went out to the citizens before they just happened. They just raised it. I watched Nancy speak about to me it looked like a little loophole to raise it without council's permission.
I can't even imagine that's it.
Well, a couple of the councils questioned it, and then Kevin Jensen was saying he'll make sure it gets out a little bit after the fact. So they went through and raised all the meters on three afternoons.
Out of them
and-
several hundred posts, I read through all of my. I didn't see anybody that said raise them higher. I mean, there was a lot of frustration.
But the bottom line is we commented pretty hard on that. And
Yeah,
it's got to be the business owners too that get out there.
Well, there was a few business owners on there.
who?
I don't recall, but there was a couple that was business owners on there that was
wanted it?
referring. That was not happy about it.
No, nobody wants it. And then Jeff Osborne would keep asking us, well, what do you suggest?
Well, I've told him suggestions several times.
I think it's like I have a few parking lots all over down, around. And if there's a random car parking there overnight, I would probably post it, tow it, $50 fine. So it's a solution, and then they tabled it for 6
Well,
months to even talk about it
The one thing
anymore.
I get tired about being told is we've been talking about these topics for I don't know how long, and I'm tired of hearing that. Well, we need to collect more information. I've seen several hundred or thousands of people's opinions over the last 5 or 10 years on this, and they're all the same. Get rid of them. Don't raise prices. Nobody wants them. That's from business owners to regular citizens. So
It is a complete cash grab to me because nothing happens after 5 p.m. at night
or the weekends
or the weekends, and raising the price. We always
sent the wrong message.
It sent the wrong message to people. We're trying to grow Muscatine and make it a lot better downtown. And what do? We talk about meters. We talk about automation. They table any further conversation for 6 months, and then they go right into raising it. They got what they wanted. They didn't go through the.
Yeah, I was also told by one of the council members, well, it's harder than the way it looks. Well, it didn't look hard to raise the prices. You're going to tell me it's hard to lower them? It's hard to get rid of them? It's not hard. You need 4 board members that come to their common senses and say that we've had enough.
One thing, we do give Jeff quite a bit of crap on stuff, but Jeff was the only one that voted nay to continue talking about it. The rest of them voted no more talk about it for 6 months. Jeff got overrid, so I was pretty proud of Jeff for standing up on that one. But I think the people that want meters cannot shop downtown, or they come after 5.
Well, the sad thing about it is reading through all those messages, and this isn't the first thread that had all these type of messages, is the amount of people that say they never go downtown to shop. They never come downtown to do business because of the meters.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I found interesting, because we've done a little bit of math on this, you know, when you look at part of the reason behind this is to turn over the parking lot or parking spots on 2nd Street, like you do a restaurant table, right? And if you look at the 2-hour number of turns that you can get done versus, you know, say somebody does park there all day, it's not numbers that are going to be so large that it drastically changes a business's outlook on life, right? So you're not even really fully accomplishing the thing that you want to accomplish in a worst case scenario. So I think that's the interesting thing. And I'm not for this concept of like everybody being able to park wherever they want for however long, but some of the other things that you've got to look at, not just the businesses, but like the businesses are in some ways, Brian, like you, the people that own the buildings, right? Their business often includes tenants. Nobody talks about where tenants park, right? Nobody talks about the fact that there's a lot of Section 8 apartments, people that are, having challenges in their life, and then they can't park there. Well, they can overnight, but they can't during the day. And it's putting extra costs and extra stress on them. Who's talking about that during the conversation? I don't think anybody is.
Well, there's a solution. They keep saying bring up solutions, and Brian and I both have, and then they went to a time meter without the meters. We've got plenty of the side streets now that don't have the meters, and the attendant chalks the tire, and if you're still there in 2 hours, you get your $5 ticket. They could extend that. The solution is get rid of the meters, extend that to a 3 or 4 hour time. The meter attendant still chalks the tire. You still get a ticket. So the solutions to me are simple for those, whether it's business people parking there too long, whether it's tenants that are parking there too long, and you just have a limit on it. And they chalk tires now to mark that 2 hour time for the meters that aren't currently there. They can do it across the board.
If the city should not be into, don't worry about parking. If it will work itself out.
So you're right. It will work itself out.
If you park in front of my business and you're there for 2 days, I'll call in. Cop come chalk it. Next day, you're getting towed.
Right.
I mean, it will work itself out.
It's not a problem they need to be involved with. It will work itself out.
And if it's not making money, get rid of it.
Yeah, I thought originally it was making $100,000. Then I was told it wasn't, and it's just paying the wages of the 2 people to keep things turned over.
It's a budget number. The layout of the downtown has changed from the 70s when they come in. It has to go away. The only way at this point, I think we've talked it to death, we beat it to death. To me, this is my personal opinion, is there's 4 people up for election. Remember that this year, that maybe they're not the right people in my mind to make a better downtown. I don't think, why find a citizen? It seems like they come into council when they're running, just like when you did city council, you have to run on a platform. What do we gain by raising it? Now Boonies has stress. All these businesses have stress of it.
Some of the frustration there, that whether it's speed cameras, whether it's parking meters, the people that ran last time for city council, I reached out asking them their opinion on that, and I didn't get a response, and that's frustrating to me. And those things are, they're important to me. I'm against speed cameras. I'm against parking meters. And I want people in there that are fighting on behalf of the citizens and some of these concerns. And then everybody wants to make it out like me and you are the only ones in Muscatine that have an issue with them. And that's not true. It's the majority.
No. A lot of people are just afraid to speak up about them. They're not going nowhere. There's no way to win the system to get them to go away in my eyes. What do you think, Chris? How do we change it? We've talked it to death.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask there, but I think I'm going to step out and admit I know not enough about this to talk about it completely intelligently, but I'm going to anyway, because everybody else does. I think you're right. I think a lot of this stuff will generally work itself out on its own. My biggest concern here is how much time and energy have we all spent talking and thinking about parking. That, again, when you look at the grand scheme of the dollars that go with each turn, it's not life-changing numbers. And I'd like to think that there's something better we could have all been working on, thinking about for the community of Muscatine that wasn't parking. That's my bigger thing. It's like, let's get some leadership together. Let's get this tabled, get it out, whatever we're doing, and move on to bigger stuff.
I agree. We have to, we got to get over parking, but I think the parking meter situation is, they've raised the prices. It's done. I think at this point, it's just all in the 2025 election. If you like what you got, keep it. But other than that, what's going on? I know the L&M gym ballot, the L&M gym that is in your district, the ballots weren't correct. Did you get any feedback on that?
Well, I'm not going to say they weren't correct, because everything matched up from all the polling locations with the auditor's office but I got 3 or 4 calls with issues that people may have got the wrong ballot, or people didn't get the ballot they was supposed to get to vote in favor of that. It had to pass by 60%, and I think that was in Louisa County and the district in Muscatine that those kids go to L&M school. And there was a lot of controversy around it. I was concerned by some of those controversies. The auditor's office was adamant with the numbers that suggested all the ballots added up, that there were supposed to be 20 people vote at this precinct for that particular gym item, that was how many ballots were given out, and everything lined up appropriate at the auditor's office. So with that being said, there wasn't a lot of pushback to maybe get a revote or something like that. I know there was a couple concerning issues out there, but apparently the numbers matched up, and there wasn't a lot of pushback. We had a supervisors meeting, and everybody could have came to voice their concerns if they thought it was an issue. Besides the superintendent, the 0 residents showed up to voice their concerns, so the auditor's numbers will stand.
Okay. And what is going on at the courthouse? How much longer is that going to be scaffolded?
I believe I believe the courthouse is supposed to be completed around the end of the year. I went up there a couple weeks ago with our planning and zoning director, Eric Furness. Looked around. They tearing off some of the old slated roof. There's a lot of damage underneath. We've got a lot of work order changes on it, because once they tear it off, they don't know what they don't know until they get down there. but everything was coming together quite well. And as long as the weather don't hold them up, I think around the end of the year, they should be wrapped up and hopefully the scaffolding removed.
Perfect. Chris, Dan, you have anything else?
Jingle and mingle
Jingle mingle.
next Friday.
Next Friday.
Just get ready. It's
have we
gonna
got
be,
a weather report for it yet?
I don't ever pay attention to them.
Jingle
because
mingle.
It's
rain
Iowa.
or shine.
It's not. Yeah, rain or shine. We're gonna have a blast. There's tons of stuff to do inside. Tons of stuff to do outside. Tons of partners again this year. It's been an absolute blast putting it together. A couple new things that I think people are going to love, from Elizabeth Von Presley to some bounce houses and just all the same normal stuff that you expect out of this. Miss Louise is going to be here. You know, she's been an anchor of this thing since #1. So it's going to be a blast and free as always. So.
Okay, you got anything else, Dan?
No, just one more thing before we go. I need to get this
God,
over.
there's that
I need to get this
trophy
over where it belongs. Got misplaced there for a second.
Chris, we need you to broadcast next game. Remember, have a happy Thanksgiving weekend. We are Muscatine. Enjoy your weekend.